Hello, Leos. Welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. Leo, we are working with the Dark Mirror Oracle this week. I've already pulled out some cards. I am going to say, as I start this reading, that this reading is very specific. It's very specific. It may or may not resonate. Now, it may also be, maybe for some of you Leos, this might be an energy, maybe I'm picking up, like another energy, and this is someone that you're dealing with. I don't know. It's not a bad energy, like as I say that, but this is somebody dealing with some really big issues here. And there's a possibility too that this is somebody dealing with some type of an addiction. I don't know what that is. I just have the oracle cards out. And I see some big like decisions down the road as well with this energy that I'm looking at. But there's obsession and addiction is right here in your current energies, and atonement. Like it's really, really kind of big and heavy. The obsession card is actually sitting in what you've been working on. So I'm not sure, because of the addicted card is sitting where what is starting to blossom. I feel like I'm looking at the energy of someone who's not in the best place right now. And it's like, okay, I see it getting better in the future, but right now, but not without some difficult, like some tough decisions in the future. But yeah, oh, this is interesting. This could even be like something, if there's an obsession or an addiction here, there could be an obsession that triggers an addiction. Like it could be like something that somebody's always focusing on. This could even be somebody who has it could be an eating disorder. I want to say that too. There could be someone with an eating disorder, and it could go either way. Like somebody could, like, when they become obsessed with something going on in their life or in the world, like that's all they focus on. That's all they focus on. And maybe it causes stress, and this person could be a stress eater or a stress drinker, right? Like to kind of nurture themselves or soothe themselves through that. And then that could be kind of where, because I feel like there's an addiction starting to blossom here. Like it doesn't feel particularly great. So, like, see what I'm saying? It's almost like when you obsess over something, it causes a feeling, or it causes a reaction to kind of quell the feelings that the obsession creates, I feel. And then every time you find yourself falling into those feelings, you lean into something here that soothes the rough or difficult feelings. And you become addicted to what that is. Like if it is a food, hey, I got a Taurus moon, baby. I will eat my way out of anything. I'll eat my way. So I am not calling nobody on that one. I've just learned over the years to try to exercise. I could be doing my 600-pound life. Not exercise periodically. Because, yeah, no, I love my num-nums. So I'm not calling anybody out here. I'm just, well, a little bit we are. A little bit, because I'm going to pull tarot out with you guys to see if we get a little bit more out of this. But the other thing that I'm picking up here is like, it's almost like this person is looking at a mirror with the obsession. Okay. Looking at a mirror with the obsession. Now, as I said, there's so many things going through my head at once with this reading. In the future, what will you finish working on? Okay, this is interesting. Naked before the stars. So this is feeling really vulnerable. This is also about feeling really comfortable in the meat suit that we have. Whether, that's a chubby meat suit, it's a wrinkly meat suit, it's an old meat suit, whatever. It's feeling comfortable in that. You see? Like I see a big improvement in the future here. I really do. We'll get to more cards in a minute. But the other thing I'm wondering here is this could be somebody who has like the opposite of what I described. When things don't feel very good, they become maybe obsessed with what it is I can control in my life, right? And a lot of times that can be the opposite end of an eating disorder, where somebody is not eating, or they might be bulimic, or, they could be purging, whatever that could be. I know these are sensitive issues, but they're here. And I feel like it's actually unsensitive to acknowledge when I'm seeing this, because this is the kind of energy where you really need to be seen and you need to be understood and you need to be like, hey, that's okay. None of us are perfect. And sometimes some days are a lot harder than others. So I don't feel good about when, well, this could trigger somebody. So no, this is somebody's story and they shouldn't be ashamed about it. If anything, they should be getting support. Let's support them in the comment section, because this is like, right, this is where I was going with this. It's almost like looking in the mirror, looking at the mirror and almost having like a false image of yourself. Like there's an obsession looking in the mirror and maybe thinking, maybe if you're getting older, maybe you're thinking, oh my God, look at me, I'm really getting older, or I put on too much weight, or this, or, right? So I want to kind of say, because then, right, I want to say she's actually a pretty healthy representation of the female body. She's got a good set of thighs here. She has a bit of a shape, but she's got a little chunk. She's got a little chunk to her. She's, kind of a good in between, I guess, of what, like to not look at yourself. I don't know. I really feel like, and maybe, okay, so here's the other thing, what you've been healing, atonement. There's also a feeling here of someone who's self-punishing. This is a big reading. And yeah, to some extent, I also do feel like there's a kind of reading where I wish if I was doing it one-on-one with someone, that we were sitting together. We were like sitting together face to face. And, because I feel like, I don't know, touch your hand and hold your hand. And like, it's okay. It's okay. How can I help you? I'm hoping that just doing the reading is making you feel seen here, because this atonement is taking on, this feels like, look at these cards. Look at both of these cards. Look at them. They're sitting beside each other here. The healing. All of these swords going into the back. Okay. And look at that. And then the blossoming. Do you see how the swords are actually coming out of the back? You're working through something big here. You really are. You really are working through something big here, Leo. The swords going in the back with the atonement, what you've been healing. I feel like you blame yourself for more things than you should. I feel like you take on more blame and responsibility for the things that work out or don't work out. Maybe more like don't work out, right? We're taking blame. If you've been in an environment or situations where you're blamed for a lot of things that aren't working out, I guarantee you, whoever or whatever person or group of people that blame for when things aren't working out, they definitely make sure to take the credit when things are working out. So yeah, I want to say definitely taking on more responsibility for things that don't work out than you should. I wonder, some of you could be like really moving to the other side of this. Like some of you might have been really focused on this over a period of time, understanding it kind of surface level and then digging deeper into it. Like I could be looking at someone who's just about to enter the dark night of the soul, someone who's in the middle of it, and somebody who's about to come out of it. It's definitely here. And the addicted is starting to blossom. I feel like it's almost self-punishment. It's almost like a self-punishment. I'm to blame. I'm the one that was wrong here. But the swords are starting to come out. It's almost like some of these swords went right into your chest, right? Like the hilt would be deep inside you and it's pulling out, and that's painful, that's hurting. They go in through the back and then they come out. But there's another point here where they come out. I feel like the back is taking on things that are not your responsibility. And then I feel like the front is like emotional pain that you carry with it. And then that is coming out. It is coming out. This is like a purge, a big purge. Check this out, this underline. Envious gluttony, calling in the storm. That, like, it's such a heavy energy. Calling this. Envious gluttony, calling. Oh. No, now I see this differently now that I'm like here with you in the reading. I call on your energy just before I pull the cards. Look at it. It's like she's trying to, like she's got her magic shaman stick aimed at this. I feel like, okay, I'm feeling like the envious gluttony is something or someone that you've dealt with in the past. And this has called storms, it's brought storms into your life. And then it's sort of at this stage and point in time, or maybe even before, in the past, it was part of a dark night of the soul, or waking up, unraveling deep wounds here and intricate karmic ties. Sorry, I'm just kind of like channeling right now. Calling the storm. It's almost like you're learning to defend yourself against this. Because when somebody needs to cast blame on you for things that aren't your responsibility, but will definitely jump on the opportunity to give themselves a pat on the back when when things are working well, I bet you this person would have envy. It's something that they would feed off. They would just like really, with gluttony, right? Like just, enormous amounts of envy. And wanting to kind of like dim your light. So you've been working on obsession. I think there's things that you obsess about. Maybe this is even like, oh, what did I do wrong? I've done this wrong. I haven't done something right, or I should do this, or I should have done that, or that person was right, or I shouldn't have behaved this way, or like, ugh, it's a lot. This feels like, I feel like a lot of emotion coming through in this reading. And I love how like the swords go in with healing and atonement, receiving more than is your fair share of, I don't know, pain and responsibility, or taking on the pain of responsibility, taking on the blame. And then the swords of addiction being pulled out. The person has a chain around their neck though. Okay. The future, what you'll finish working on is naked before the stars. So I really do feel like in whatever degree, whatever level it is, whether it is something to do with your body image, it could be a combination of things. It could be that, it could be something to do with internal image, like just like feeling vulnerable, being able to feel vulnerable here. It's also difficult to feel vulnerable when you're used to walking around with all those swords in your back. Oh, it could even be like emotions being weaponized against you in some way too. Your emotions being weaponized against you. And then even possibly having difficulty with, is it okay to be happy? Am I allowed to be happy? There could be a self-pity that's developed over time, and you might even be like addicted to this and not consciously aware of it, and that could be coming to the front, starting to develop a more conscious awareness. What will be healed in the artificial heart? I wasn't sure about this card when I pulled it out at first, and now that I've talked through all the energy, it makes sense, because I'm kind of thinking here that maybe there's some level of emotions that have been weaponized against you. Envious gluttony is a horrible energy to be working up against. It's because it will disguise itself. That was so weird. I could have sworn that I felt and heard Larry jump on the table. That was the weirdest thing. I bet you he's coming. It was a premonition. Yeah, sorry. It's almost like he distracted me psychically there. Envious. I'm envious of you. Don't be happy. People that are really miserable too, and they don't know how to not be miserable, they can get really upset when there's someone around them that's happy. What's your problem? Why are you happy? You don't have any right to be happy. Look at our life. Look at my life. Look at how much... Okay. But so healed, the artificial heart is described as a heart. It's kind of like the Four of Cups. Like I think at the first page, each card has a page. At the top of the page describing this card, it says, is the sun to blame if I refuse to feel its warmth? Which is also interesting, Leo and the sun, right? So feeling your own warmth here, allowing yourself to feel. That'll be healed in the future. Just hit on that. If I don't feel the warmth of the sun, will I blame the sun or myself? Yeah. Okay, now, what will be ready to harvest? I thought this was an interesting card. Alone in the world. I'm going to be honest. I really feel like that this is somebody spending some time on their own here, which I think is important. Like looking at this process and these stages, you could be, maybe you could be getting yourself out of an addictive pattern here in relationships, or you could be getting yourself out of an obsessive or addictive relationship. There's also something here that I'm getting in with the atonement. And addicted, I don't know, it's almost like you might even feel like you've entered relationships where people have been kind of broken. You've entered people that were broken. No, well, I don't know, maybe you have, maybe if you're a masculine, or yeah, that's odd, but I said it. So, but entering relationships with people who are broken, feeling like it's your responsibility to fix them. And then when they can't be fixed and they blame you for it, probably not all directly, but indirectly, right? It's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have pushed you to do that. It's like suddenly your fault. To some extent, you know, it would be your fault because you entered a relationship thinking that you could fix someone or that it was your responsibility. But there's also a level of, I want to say that there's a level of arrogance or arrogance. Hey, I'm not calling you out either. Like, we've all been there. Especially, I want to say, like, people that are starseeds, empathic. You are healing people. So there is a natural instinct to feel like you could heal. But it's naivety, ignorance and naivety that that you can heal. Like, some people are just, well, they have to do it on their own. So that's kind of thing. But it's almost like over time, then you start taking on these wounds yourself. I feel like you're making a choice here to spend some time on your own, which I think is very important because I feel like based on the cards that I'm looking at, that you will really get to know you after an awful lot of difficult things have been stripped away here. Okay, so the other thing is there could be like envy could be an energy that has overwhelmed you at times. If you've been a fragmentation. Feeling fragmented, feeling like parts of your life don't come together, maybe seeing other people's lives come together more efficiently, feeling some type of envy towards that. And then so if you're trying to manifest something through envy or any of these lower frequencies or you know, the 7 deadly sins, envy and gluttony are right there. You're going to call in storms. You're going to call in havoc. You're going to bring problems into your life, right? It's big reading, no? Yeah, it really is. This is the kind of stuff, though, that I feel like is the most beneficial to us at times. To really, like, just take a look. Now, the cards are super heavy and big. And they kind of give an indication of, like, big problems and big energies and big addictions or obsessions here. They don't have to be. They don't, because, you know, with tarot and oracle cards, there really isn't like a measuring system to what the extent and the extreme is. These could be small and they affect your life, so they're being brought up here. But what's the obsession? Oh, I just heard too, it could be something electronic. Like, just looking at that, it's like, isn't it like it's kind of holding in their hand like a little cell phone, like a smartphone. Come up with this. You know why they're smart? Because they suck the intelligence out of you. That's why they're smart. That's why they're smart. Because they're sucking the intelligence out of you. Very sorry. The moon. Obsessive fears. Obsessive. Wait a second. Hi. All right. We need a Larry moment. You're cold. Were you outside? You were? You're so handsome. Hmm? You're so handsome. But I need to look at the cards, honey. I knew you were coming. And in that time you really did. I didn't know. I knew ahead of time, but my timing was off. My timing was off. Okay, working on, I don't know, maybe it's the unknown here. Maybe you're obsessed with the unknown. Like, what does tomorrow bring? What will the next thing? Your fears, illusions? Tell me more about the moon. Obsession with the, maybe you have an obsession with the actual moon. That would be interesting. Karma. That also, that's like an eclipse. Well, you're the sun to some degree, right? I would say that the moon would even be like a counterpart or something for you. Judgment. You're obsessed with the fear of judgment. I mean, that's what that kind of looks like too, right? Obsessed with the fear of judgment. What will people say? What will people think if I'm really myself? Or anything. Atonement. What have you been healing? The Seven of Cups and the Four of Swords. Well, it's funny. We have a healing card in the healing section with the Four of Swords. The Seven of Cups. I want to know more about the Seven of Cups. I'm about to say something, but let me. The Seven of Cups. The Two of Pentacles and Justice. Okay, yeah. It feels almost like, to me, like, what if I'd done something differently? Or what if I'd done this differently? Or what if I'd taken this action instead of action? Those are difficult because hindsight is always 20/20. Like, it really is. But it's still feeling like, even when you don't know everything about situations that you've been involved in, but you feel like somehow you're to blame or it's your responsibility, you just take it on, even when that's not, you know, necessarily. The Two of Pentacles could be trying to balance. Like with Justice, it's trying to really balance. Maybe you are taking on, I don't know, it could be, but if there's been lack of accountability in areas, you're working on taking that accountability. Okay, and as I said that, right? Like, even when we enter relationships under the false guise that, oh, this person is broken, or this person is wounded, or this person, you know, they didn't have a great partner, their last partner. I'll give them faith in partnerships, or I can help heal this person, or whatever, you know, whatever that is. That is your responsibility, right? Like, you have to acknowledge that, or you're just going to end up doing it again. How that person reacts to that is also their responsibility, but it may or may not be warranted. There's definitely a whole thing going on here where you're taking your share of whatever you're responsible for, and maybe a little bit more. What is the addicted is starting to blossom? This, you know, it's Larry. He's obsessed and addicted with me patting him. Oh, you just don't want to. Seven of Swords. What is that? That is sneaky. What are you doing? What is the Seven of Swords? Addicted to the Seven of Swords that's starting to blossom? The Ace of Wands. That's a weird little area. Okay. We got two now. Okay, tell me more about the Seven of Swords. I had a conversation with Larry last night. I said, you need to understand that my hands are attached to my body for me to do tasks. There's not, the only task isn't patting Larry. Understand it. The Two of Cups and the High Priestess. What's the Ace of Wands? You know, the Death card and the Eight of Wands. Well, now you're laying on the future, Larry. I brought you more fish to poach. Okay. I feel like some of you, there could even be a person here that you're obsessed with. I think there could be a person here that you're obsessed with. You might be afraid of the judgment on that. I just want to read the addicted card. What is it? Just give me a second here. 11. It's not about choosing the chains. It's about choosing them again and again. That's starting to blossom. Just something here that doesn't feel unhealthy. Because it's almost like, unless, okay, I want to say that I feel like there's some sort of new idea that's coming out of an addictive habit or quality that you're struggling with. And it's to get you going in a different direction. Because I'm looking at this thinking like the future looks like it gets better for you. And that's got to be what it is here. Because there's an addiction here to hiding. Could be like hiding your feelings too. With the Two of Cups, because I talked about that. If your feelings have been weaponized against you in the past, you may feel like, yeah, I don't know, your feelings, you can't share them. Because that's part of the addiction here. Something like hiding mutual feelings, right? And it's really hiding them with the Seven of Swords and the High Priestess. But then this Ace of Wands with the Death card and the Eight of Wands, that is suddenly getting some type of an idea here about, or a realization. I'm wondering if it kind of comes through as a bit of like a eureka moment here, or, oh my God, what am I doing? I don't know. It just feels like kind of like sudden, and it creates a very dramatic change suddenly with the Death card into the Eight of Wands. Like, wow, I know I really need to go in a different direction with this because this is not working. You can't, how are you going to look like that? How am I supposed to focus with you upside down with your little pink nose and your little pink lips? Did you? I just got to deal with it. You're laying on the future, Larry. I need to see the future. That's what I do. That's what I do, Larry. Right? It's like going to have your crystal ball read and their cat comes in and likes a crystal ball. Okay. Naked before the stars. Well, why don't you lay on the present? We're finished with that. There, slide over a bit. Lay on those. Thanks. Okay. What you're finished working on. Naked before the stars. Oh my God. That was a lot of cards. The Knight of Wands. The Six of Swords. The Five of Swords. And the King of Cups. It's not actually easy because it kind of feels like facing your emotions here. But it feels like, yeah, well, that makes sense because then we're going over here. Facing your emotions. Maybe there are the emotions about what you have for yourself first. Maybe you've been so caught up in other people's feelings and helping them with those that you're really going to just start to kind of understand your own deeper feelings here about things about yourself. I'm kind of wondering if you've been trained or programmed here at some point to worry about being responsible for someone else's feelings. There's a lot of this kind of coming through in this reading. I don't know. I feel like that is probably dealing with either narcissism, sociopath, not yourself, but other people. Artificial heart will be healed. Ooh, the Knight of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. Wow, that's a big healing. I'll tell you that. That's like when your heart is your sovereign. We'll say that. Your sovereign heart here. And you are functioning with it and sharing it. You get a big result physically. like manifesting. It could be a family issue that is healed here as well. What will be ready to harvest alone in the world? The Magician and the Wheel of Fortune. I think that is a really important energy, because calling in the storm felt like manifesting through very negative energies. And these could have been people around you, right, that had this, and it wasn't easy for you to manifest good things in that energy, because you are going to be spending some time on your own here, and you're going to manifest very different things from what you've been able to manifest in the past. Big changes, like big changes for you. The High Priest or the Hierophant is at the bottom. Yeah, these could be things that you were committed to, relationships that you found yourself committed to in the past. Well, thank you, Leo. Thank you so much for letting me do that reading. I'm going to go do the extended. The extended this week, because I'm looking at the current energy of you, and in the future, I'm going to focus in the extended on the in-between, like the things that help you get to this future energy. And Larry, now he's laying on the cards. On my cue cards here. So I'm going to ask, what are the personal challenge, a distraction to be aware of, and an area to focus on in the in-between that gets you to the future? I don't know how you can expect that when I'm using a space and you come in and you take over it, that I'm the problem when I try to use my stuff. Joe, y'all are cats. Tell me, what's my problem? That's what I got. Actually, I'm going to tell you a funny story. So, Lily, oh, he doesn't want to, he's not going to be, he knows what the story is. He's not going to be here for the story. So Lily, you know, my little dog Lily, she's taken it upon herself to try to tell Larry what's right and wrong. And he did not like it. I laugh at them because honest to God, they remind me of, like, well, I only have one son. So the only time I ever dealt with, well, besides friends' houses and stuff like that, but bless you. Like, you know, little kids kind of interacting together. Like whenever I would go and like help the lunch monitor in the kindergarten pen or something, and there'd be somebody who wasn't, you know, you had to go and talk to them about their behavior, maybe to try to think about doing something different or take a little time out or whatever. There was always someone who wanted to be like your little helper. They would want to go. And then they would tell, it's like, no, you don't understand. They do not want to hear it from their peer. They don't want to hear this. That isn't going to be good for you. It's not good for them. It's not good for anybody. Just let me talk to them. But that's what Lily's doing. She is totally doing. So Larry's been trying to get out different areas. I think there's a stray cat that's coming to the neighborhood again. So he's upset. He wants to go way beyond his little outdoor enclosure. So he tries to go to these different doors, and Lily knows. She knows Larry's not allowed out those doors. So what she'll do is she'll walk up to him and she'll start like running her nose up his back and start doing something that he does not like. And he'll give her the look, like he's understood now what she's trying to do. So then he'll face her like nose to nose, and she's like, I'm all for it. She's just like, and then, yeah. And you can see he gets mad, and then he goes. Moves away, and then he'll move like 10 feet away, and he'll just give her the evil little eye. And she sits there and she looks at me and she wags her tail like, did I do good, mommy? Just no. So Larry doesn't like hearing it from me, and I know he does not like hearing it from Lily. But I'm watching her, because she only does what she's doing to him when he's at a door and she knows he's not to go out that door, and like, maybe I'm going to take Lily out for a walk or something. So she knows we're going out that door, and he is not allowed out that door. So she will go over and she will do her little nose boops on him and go, oh, you can't. And he is very upset about her telling him what he can and cannot do. I don't know. I spend a lot of time alone with my pets. So that's what I have for you, Leos. Thank you so much, everyone. Until next time, be gentle with yourselves. Bye.